Good evening. And if you're just tuning in, you're listening live to the Angel Rock on 105.3 and 107.7 of the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana. Thanks for hanging with me a little bit, guys. I decided at the last minute because things were not cooperating. I think I'm going to have to do a deep scan on this new computer. It's not playing things the way I want. I got some pretty spooky stuff ready for you. So I am your host, Lorilei Potvin. I'm a host here on the network, obviously, of my own show here, The Angel Rock, and I co-host The Thing at the Foot of the Bed on Thursdays with my good friend and amazing medium, David Hansel. Be sure to check us out. I'm going to try to make it. David will be there, I know that for sure, on his TikTok, David Hansel. He's the one that's got 95,000, almost 100,000 people. That's the one you're looking for because there are tons of imposters over there. We usually go live on Wednesday evenings. Sounds like around 4:30 Eastern Standard Time now because things are getting darker, and he usually likes to go up to a park around his house where he's got a really nice outside area to do things, and we do readings and questions and what have you. Don't worry, guys. I have guests scheduled all the way so far into January. But you know what? I think we're just going to hang with you. I love doing these shows one-on-one with you guys. So I'm working on guests. I have lots actually to book, and I've been slowly getting to that. But like I said, we're booked right up. We're not going to be doing any solo shows for a long time. So we'll enjoy it while we can. Just a few housekeeping things. If you like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe, and tell all your friends. We have tons of new guests coming. Excuse me. And we've got great shows. This network's been around for 25 plus years. We stream daily multiple shows, and when we're not live, we are running the archive server, and the archive server just picks whatever it wants from the last 25 years. So you never know what you're going to get, but there's always something for everybody here. We are starting, as I understand, to start streaming on Sunday nights. I believe Trish Moe, who was on Tuesday nights, I believe she may be coming to, it may be Trish. I'm not sure if it's Trish or it's going to be another paranormal show anyways, one way or the other, on Sunday nights. And Sean Kelly, who was on, he's still on Tuesday nights. And then his second show, I believe, is going to Sunday nights too. So you want to check that out. I think Sunday night is a great night to do a show. Everybody's kind of winding down, getting ready for the start of the weekend, right? So why not? I think it's an awesome idea. I'm going to say hi to all of you in just a minute. Now, don't forget, too, that we have our own TV channel for the network. We're on Roku. If you're looking for it, you're going to sign in to the channel store. And don't worry, I've been bugging Joe, the owner of the network, for a channel code. I haven't got one yet. So the easiest way to find it is to go to the channel store and look up UFO space P as in paranormal. You're going to get a drop-down menu. I believe we're about the third or fourth one down. You're looking for UFO space paranormal and United Public Radio, because we are known by both those names, UFO Paranormal Radio Network and or United Public Radio Network. So I think I've told you everything I wanted to tell you before I start going through the comments here, but I always love to give my favorite YouTube channels a shout out. You know what? I think podcasting is becoming quite the phenomena. I've been doing podcasting long before it was ever called a podcast. And there's some great content and content creators. I follow true crime. I've actually started to discover a lot of people in the paranormal world follow true crime. First things first, I do want to give a shout out to the families of Maddie and Kaylee and Ethan and Xana in Idaho. Those are those 4 college students today, a year ago, who lost their lives. They were viciously taken. There is a suspect in custody. There is no trial date. It was supposed to have happened already, and there's no date. There's been a lot of delays. So my heart goes out to those people, and I believe there's a lot of memorial services that have been going on over the weekend, and there is a big candlelight vigil this evening. If you ever want to get caught up on the case, 2 of my favorite channels I highly recommend. One is Surviving the Survivor with Joel Waldman. He used to work for, I believe it was either Fox or ABC. He now does podcasting or his own show on YouTube. Their hashtag is best guests in true crime. And I have to say, they get some pretty impressive guests over there. So check it out. The other one is Grizzly True Crime. I love Gisela K. I don't know how that lady does it. I swear to God, she's got 10 clones, but she has a whole file on this case. Idaho case I'm talking about right now. You can check it all out. She does timestamps. She does all kinds of things. Both audiences, great groups of people over there. I've made some friends over there. A couple have actually hopped over to our network to support it, which I really appreciate. So check them out. And then I'm going to tell you guys all about my favorites. You guys always know with my paranormal channels, I got to mention them. Absolute fave, the Foreman brothers on Paranormal Nightmare. They put a new upload almost every Friday night. They usually go live on Saturdays when they're filming. And the reason why I like these guys, I don't think they fake things. They help a lot of people with severe, severe, severe hauntings. I would have loved to have called them when I was in my previous home. Mind you, they haven't come up to Canada yet, but they don't charge people to help them. They go all on their own dime, even before they got their own TV show. They went through this as small children themselves, and they're pretty successful at a lot of places where they haven't been able to get rid of a lot of the really nefarious activity. Then we've got some up-and-comers, the Paranormal Files with Colin Browen and his family. I like his channel. I don't know how that guy does it either. He's a young guy, and he puts out almost a 3-hour documentary every week. Now, sometimes he uploads on Mondays after my show on his own channel, obviously, or sometimes it's Wednesdays, but does a phenomenal job. And then Twin Paranormal, they claim they are the only identical twins doing this, and they've really grown. I followed them since they were really small, and I believe they're almost at 800,000 subscribers, so they're really growing too. So check them out. All right, time to get to our comments here. Zach Powers, I was wondering where you were. You said, who missed you? I missed you. I was just about to message you and say, hey, Zach, I hope everything's okay. Haven't seen you in a long time. So let's say hi to everybody that's been waiting patiently. Here we got Z-Sun Dragon or Kevin. We got Heather Cooper. She says hello. Then there's my message saying, hey, folks, I'll be with you in just a few minutes. And we got Sandra Sharp. We've got, let me see, Zach Powers. Like I said, he said, I'm going to highlight his message because he hasn't been around for a while. And we have missed you, Zach. He says, long time no see, everyone. Who missed me? I certainly did. And Sandra says, the sparkly ears remind me of the crystal foxes on Star Wars. I never thought of that, I guess. I'm getting in the holiday spirit. I have a problem with gnomes, Dave and I do. Actually, I came up with an idea. I got to ask Dave, but I have a spooky gnome idea I'm going to talk to him about and see what he thinks. So we'll tell you maybe more on Thursday about that. You guys will have to tune in. And then we got Michelle all the way over in Australia. She says, good day, all. And then she asks a question. Let's see, Lorilei, have you ever been back to that place you were living when you had that experience? Not inside the house. I have driven by it. I don't like to go by it. But I will tell you when I moved, I'm going to get to your comment just a sec, Zach. When I moved, I've really only connected with 2 people. I have got all kinds of people contacting me from all over the world. They've seen our Paranormal Survivor episode, and we're concerned because it was left with, we didn't find anybody to help us, and we didn't in our previous home. And I'm much more well-versed in the paranormal, but when you're living in that arena with that type of activity, sometimes it's good to have an objective person come in and be able to do their thing, if you will. Anyways, one person who contacted me lives all the way in Sardinia, Italy. I now call her my adopted daughter, and I just knew intuitively she would be amazing, and she is. She's extremely gifted. She is one of my moderators on one of my groups. Actually, I have 2 groups on Facebook. The other person contacted me, works with demonic energies. I haven't talked to him in forever. He actually seems like he's kind of more migrated into a lot more of the light worker stuff. I should get a hold of him. He was a great guest. Anyways, he messaged me on a Friday night. I think all he said was, were you able to get help? He said, I believe it will be one of these 3 demons. Sorry, I'm losing my gum here. Actually, I'll get rid of it because I'm chewing on it nonstop. Anyways, the reason what made me reach out to him and answer him back was he got the name right. Out of the 3 he mentioned, nobody has ever gotten that name. I'd never heard the name I was given. And if you're just new to the channel, most of you that are in the chat right here that I know, you've heard the story many times, but this all started with a dream probably about 16 years ago. And it's like it happened yesterday, like 10 minutes ago. And there was a man in my tree in my front yard, and there was a tree. And basically, I was looking from the bottom up and seeing this man who was wearing this very expensive dark charcoal colored pinstripe suit, white silk shirt, black silk tie. He had neatly, for those that are listening, I'll try to describe it because 80% of our listeners are audio only, apparently. So I did forget to mention that if you want to join in the conversation, we would love to have you join in. You can find us over on Facebook under UFO Paranormal Radio and United Public, and on YouTube. We're streaming to my YouTube channel, The Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin. Unfortunately, Facebook or StreamYard and Facebook would not play nice with my profile this evening. So what I've done is I've shared it from UFO Paranormal Radio Network and pinned it to the top. So you should be able to find it on Facebook under Lorilei Potvin. I'm streaming to LinkedIn tonight. Seem to be getting a lot more people noticing the banner, and I thought, hey, let's try that. Let's take advantage of all the spots. We have 8 spots we can stream to, and we'll see what happens with that. Anyways, back to the stream. I remember seeing this guy. He had this black slick back hair all the way about right to the back of his neck, about ear length. And his face was what I noticed right away. It was like this sickly kind of, I don't know, greenish, whitish color. And I mean, the really creepy thing was, so he had not this part. He had a black goatee and mustache, very tightly trimmed. It wasn't quite stubble. It was a little longer, but it was all in one piece, like a beard and goatee and mustache. But his eyes were completely pitch black, and then they kept switching back and forth to black and a flame. And I remember in the dream asking him, "Who are you? And why are you here?" He told me I'd had a little jewelry business and pet accessory thing I was making by hand. And he said, you know, that little business, well, that's nothing. I can offer you wealth. I can offer you fame. I can offer you anything beyond your wildest dreams. And it's not radio friendly what I told him to do. But basically, I said no in no uncertain terms. And I said, who are you? And then he proceeded to tell me he was a demon, told me his name, spelt it for me. And again, even more emphatically, I told him where to go. And I was not agreeing to any of that. And then he started to laugh at me and mock me. And he wagged his finger in my face and he went, oh, no, 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 no. Every time you see a crow or a raven, you'll know who it is. Now, I'd never heard this name before, never seen it before. I've been raised Roman Catholic, forced to go to church every Sunday. I went to Roman Catholic school till about 10th grade. Never seen this. And then when I was helping somebody about 5-6 years later, looking something up for them, I did find him. And everything he told me in the dream was identical to what I found. And I looked at multiple sources at that time. I had tried before. I didn't have the resources though. As time has gone on and I've, taken more courses and worked with different mentors and people, you end up finding more sources. So I have never gone back. But anyways, back to your story. I know it's a long story, but for people who haven't heard it, that's why I shared it. And it is on Paranormal Survivor. It's season 4, episode 9. You can find it on YouTube. It's called Demonic Hauntings. And they named the episode, my part, even though I told them I wouldn't film it if they did, but it's called Lorelei's Demon. So, it wasn't quite the way things happened, but in the episode, but still I'm appreciative of their story. So this gentleman, I ended up having a 3-hour conversation with. His name is Curtis. Is it Jackson? Curtis Jackson. I think it was Curtis Jackson. And he was so interesting. I ended up having him on my show that following Monday. I had an opening and people were saying in the audience, oh my God, this guy should be like lecturing at universities. He had trained as a pastor and he had worked with, I had been part of Luciferianism for a while and studied witchcraft and dark arts and things like that. And he worked with demonic entities. So he said he wanted I said, I don't own the property anymore anyways, but he went there and he didn't go there physically. So you don't have to be physically anywhere. Energy goes everywhere on this planet, right? So he was going to try and clear or remove what was there. I don't know who owns the home. So I've driven by it before, but I never see people there. Like, I don't know who owns it or anything like that. So I've driven by it, and that's all I can say. I don't know if they've experienced what we experienced. I have no idea, but it's a good question. Sorry for such a long answer, Mish. Oh, we've got Carol. You're having trouble hearing me? Well, let me check my volume. Is anybody else having a hard time? Let me know. No, I'm at 100% here, so we should be good. But let me know if anybody else is having a hard time hearing. So Kevin says after the 11th, oops, sorry, hit the wrong one there. All the comments are coming. They're going up higher and higher here. Sorry. After the 11th, I start decorating for Christmas too. Time to get it longer to enjoy it. That's right. You go, yeah, that's right. Okay, good. Now you can hear. Good. I'm glad, because I usually do a sound check before I go live. And like I said, I decided to completely restart my computer because last week we had some problems with videos. So I thought, nope, I'm not going to do just a restart. I'm shutting it completely down. Good. I'm glad. Okay. I figured that other people would tell me if it was a problem. So it's always good to let me know, you guys, if you're having any problems like sound wise or anything like that. It's good to always let me know, because I can only hear what I hear as I'm speaking. I don't want to hear obviously through the computer, because you guys would get double speak. So thank you for that, Carol. And thank you for the confirmation you guys can all hear well. So I decided I have some really creepy, spooky videos lined up and things to chat about. Anything you guys want to ask, like Michelle did, and I'm glad she asked. That was a great question. Feel free to put your questions in here. We can do whatever you guys want. That's why I like doing these shows. You guys want to do a few readings, you want to talk about anything, whether it's spiritual, it's paranormal, anything like that. I'm happy to talk about it, answer any questions. But I was watching another video today, somebody else I watch. I watch a variety of different videos. I don't have cable. I can access and watch cable if I want, but I usually am looking kind of all around me on YouTube and podcasts and things like that. And there's somebody I follow by the name of Radiant Brit, and she's a commentary channel on basically influencers and social media people who are problematic. And I don't always agree with her, but she makes some very good points. And even though she doesn't have children, and I have to agree with her point, she's adamantly in support of children not being exposed on the internet. And I can't tell you how many family bloggers, and I'm not trying to be judgmental here, it's just young children don't have a choice. And there's been quite a few. Well, there's one in particular, it's called 8 Passengers, and the mother has just been charged with child abuse, and it's very, very serious what happened. And these children never had a moment of peace. The camera was always in their face. There were 6 children. This mom was even filming their children shaving their legs, like as girls, and armpits and first menses, we'll say, not filming the actual, but talking about it and making the children discuss it. It was discovered because the 16-year-old son, I guess, had his bedroom taken away because he had played a practical joke on his younger brother. There was no harm, no foul. Hadn't had a bedroom in over 8 months and was sleeping on a beanbag chair. And these people were millionaires. Like, the reason they're millionaires is because of the children. And this is what happens. People get brand deals and what have you, right, from their children. And just think about this, you guys. I don't know if you can remember, but especially when you're a teenager, can you imagine every mistake you've made, every stupid thing you said or did is on the internet forever? And you're forced to film whether you want to or not. So these are the kind of things that she looks at and she talks about. And I think it's really problematic for children when they don't have a voice. There's a reason why the Coogan's Law was developed in Hollywood for children, child actors. And there's going to have to be some kind of legal intervention, I think, for children as well when it comes to social media influencers. These people are making millions. And I have seen, there was a case in particular that really got to me. I'm going to get back to why I mentioned Radiant Brit. It was Micah and James Stauffer. And, you know, I've discussed it actually with someone today, and other people as well. That's a lot for people to measure up to, especially if you're a mom or a single dad, doesn't matter. And, you know, life with children is unpredictable, and your house isn't always clean, the laundry's not always done. But when you're seeing these people acting like they have the perfect marriage and the perfect kids and Pinterest ready, everything for every holiday and what have you, right? And then your children are forced to film. And the scary part is there are programs out there like Social Blade. Now, it's not 100% accurate, but you can see who your viewing audience is. It is absolutely terrifying when you see some of these family channels, and these parents know this, that the bulk of their views are coming from males from the age of 15 to 60, 65 years of age. And some of the biggest views are children in dance costumes, children in diapers. And I mean, how could you not care? You know this. It's not hard to see who your viewing audience is, especially when you have a bigger, any channel. It'll tell you how many times your video has been watched, when it was commented on, and what have you. Anyways, her video today, she was talking about this new trend on TikTok where these female social media influencers, the challenge was to take $800 US and go out and completely furnish your house in a brand new Christmas theme, and each trying to outdo the other. And like she said, and she's probably right, first of all, it's a tax write off. And these are her words, not mine. And then on top of it, it's probably just going to get thrown out or dumped to Goodwill in after Christmas is done, because it'll be next year's challenge. And it got me thinking, because I thought, wouldn't it be beautiful if one of those influencers had decided to take that $800, because she was mentioning, and she's right, after what we've been through over the last almost 4 years all around the world, there are people that are working 3 and 4 jobs and barely surviving. There's going to be kids that don't have a Christmas. It'll be lucky if they can get food on the table. A lot of people are homeless. Wouldn't that be cool if somebody decided to take that $800 and see what they could do with that to make people's lives better? Now, I'm not talking about filming, you know, giving it to the people so you can celebrate and say, hey, look how good I am. But if you put the ideas out there and you challenge people and you utilize your viewership to come up with some great ideas and do some real good with that. And it got me thinking, the holiday season is upon us. The other thing I've been seeing a lot of this ad, if you will, is the owner or CEO of Mind Valley, which is like a self-improvement type app and what have you. And he had a really good point. I think he comes from India, and I believe he lives in the US. I could be wrong, um, but I believe it's in the US. And he said, and I'm not pointing a finger at my brothers and sisters in the US, because it's not much different here in Canada or other places that celebrate holidays like that. But we all know about the notorious Black Friday. He said, there you are having a dinner celebrating how thankful you are for the people in your life and the things that you have. And less than 12 hours later, you go to Black Friday. And we've seen some of the videos from Black Friday, what happens. And I thought, yeah, he kind of has a point. So my whole point of mentioning this is, if you have enough and you are able to, one of the biggest gifts you can give yourself is to take that and be able to make somebody's life a little bit better. Even if you don't have money, it doesn't have to be money. Maybe you live in a place where there's snow, even if there's grass, like Michelle's in Australia, you're in the middle of summer right now. If you're able, even your time to go give somebody maybe that needs a little bit of help or whatever that is, I promise you, it will be a bigger gift to yourself to help somebody else. And even, looking into things like life review. We all have a life review when we leave this lifetime, when we go back home ourselves. And I'm starting to see, from all the years I've studied near-death experiences, professionally and personally, I also believe I had one as a toddler, that the things that people thought that they did was monumental, that would be celebrated, like, I really did a lot of good. I did this big thing. And then after a near death experience, they come back for those that have experienced a life review, and they're shocked that the little things that they thought meant nothing really, like it was just like maybe smiling at an elderly person or helping them pick up a drop bag or whatever that is, that those were the things that were so huge and monumental, because you don't get to see what that feels like to the other person, or maybe sometimes it can be life changing for someone, right? So that was kind of where I wanted to start tonight was, if you're able to, and you can find the time or within, your heart, and I'm going to get to your comments in a minute, if you could do that yourself. And I'm going to tell you, not telling anybody about it is even better. Even better. Keep it all to yourself. I mean, if you think that maybe by sharing the story that it may inspire others, by all means, but we know there are people out there, I'm not pointing a finger at anybody, but they put it all over social media so that they get the praise and the glory of like, what a great, amazing person are you that you did this. So if you can do that, and then remember why we have the holidays, the reason for it, for whatever reason you celebrate. And again, I'm going to give the credit to Radiant Brick, because she was saying, most Christmases, I don't remember what I got for Christmas. She said, what I remember is the magic and the love and the happiness. Nobody was in a bad mood. Nobody was fighting. Maybe you have to get together with problematic people that you're going to have to be around, and they're going to ask those questions that are going to push your buttons. If maybe you could even just give them the gift of patience and tolerance, while still maintaining your boundaries, but maybe reacting in a way they never ever expected. And if we could just celebrate Christmas that way, because even if you smile at somebody that looks miserable on the street or whatever, giving them the gift of patience, sales clerks that are out there run off their feet at this time of year in particular. And it really goes a long way. So if you even have some joy to give, to share, if you're able to do that, I promise you, and the more joy you put out, the more you receive. And you might find, because a lot of people find themselves alone at this time of year and are sad or feel alone or lonely. So if you have the chance to brighten someone else's life, I hope you do. The last thing I do want to add to that, I'm going to talk a little bit about this as we do shows like this every week until I think we've got December, the end of November, we start back with guests again, is to take care of yourself. Okay. Spend a little bit of time, or even if you do have a little bit of extra cash on yourself, because by fortifying yourself, you're filling up your own cup, that proverbial cup, right? And when we're our best version of ourselves, we're much more of a gift, if you will, to the people that we love, the people we work with, our friends, even strangers around us. And you really do have more to give. So I hope that helps you guys at all. Or if you guys, I see a lot of points here. I'm going to read them because I'm sure you guys have some great ideas. You always do. So we got Jonathan here. I didn't get a chance to say hi to Jonathan. So Kelly Hopkins says, good evening. Good evening, Kelly. She says she loves the ears. And Sandra says, um, I was watching Carmen Turner shot in a lecture. She was awesome, of course. Would be great to have her on again. And that is so funny that you said that, Sandra, because I was talking to Carmen briefly this weekend, but I was just saying to someone how amazing she is. For those of you who don't know who she is, she's been on my show multiple times. She's an astrologer. I always call it a muggle job, what we do for our day jobs. And she's actually got her master's in social work, and she is amazing. And if you want to find out more about her, there's many shows. If you go back even through YouTube, my YouTube channel, under the live, there's a live tab. You can find her in there, and she's got so much information. So yes, I will be having her back, and it probably may not be till the new year. I should ask her, because she's just as crazy busy as I am. So I'll have to ask her. So Jonathan from JK47 Paranormal Investigations. Hey, Lorilei. Jonathan, are you still here? If you are, I'm going to check as I go down the comments, because I was even thinking It'd be kind of cool to do some ITC if you're around. If you're not, I understand that. That's okay. I thought it might be kind of fun if you're up for it. So let's see. Zach says, I don't like it when children are propped up for views and exploited. Exactly, Zach. That is why I'm strongly against things like beauty pageants, which, because that is fuel for sick people. And it can be. It really can be. And I hear what you're saying. Okay, and I understand that that's sort of more of a bigger thing, especially down in the southern US. So I don't have a lot of experience with that, but I do have enough experience with watching family vloggers. There's one couple that's been on YouTube for a long time, Matt, and I think it's Abby, and they had their first baby. And then they filmed, I think the baby was about 4 months old, and this girl had the most look of horror when she realized she was pregnant again. So she's got two under the age of 2, and she used to show her children. And I never saw the video, but I've seen certain people, such as Radiant Brit, commenting on. She was complaining how she was noticing she was at the park with the child, just the child, the first son, because she was pregnant with the second at that time. I believe her husband was with her, and they were with some other YouTube couples, and that there was somebody prowling around and watching their children and trying to, all the collective group of people's children and what have you. And I think it was Radiant Brit, don't quote me, but she said, if you don't want people to be prowling and looking at your children and stuff, you got to stop showing their faces. And you know what? I often wonder if that couple's seen her video, because they never show their children's faces in videos. If their children are there, you may see the back of their head or whatever. And I thought, good for you. Good for you. And they are not one couple, I would say, is building their platform. They've been around a long time, or brand deals or whatever on the children. And they do a lot of other things besides just focusing on what their children are doing or family life. But I thought, you know what? Good for you. You listened and you heard it. Because again, I know I can't think of one person. I'm 58 years old. I can't think of one person looking back when you were a young child, or even especially as a teenager, and everything you ever did was on the internet. Once it's on the internet, it never goes away. Like, I can't even imagine. And children didn't have a say in it. Again, same YouTuber today, Radiant Brit, was talking about. Now, I don't know who this person is, but apparently on Facebook, she's quite well known, and another family influencer. She's potty training her child on video in on Facebook. Apparently, this young child has no clothes on. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't even stop to think. Like, you have no idea who sees your content. I'll just give you an example. I'm not showing anything like that. I'm not judging people. I'm just saying, in this world today, and I've said it many, many times, the reason why I don't have a brick and mortar office, if you will, because I don't do enough business in my city, first of all, but I have the whole world at my feet with the internet. But with that being said, the whole world can be watching your video. You have no idea who is watching it or seeing it or consuming your content, or even doing what they will with your content. I know I had my own experience. I was in my previous home, and all of a sudden I started getting all these messages from strange guys. It was over 2 days. And I mean, they were not on my friends list. They were, hey, what are you up to? And I kept saying, who are you? And why are you messaging me? And I remember mentioning it to my partner, Dell, and he goes, well, I don't know, maybe people just, I don't know, maybe were watching the episode we did or whatever. I go, no, these are all guys. So I was at the cancer clinic with my youngest son. He was very ill about 6 or 7 years ago, and they weren't sure if he had blood cancer. Thankfully, he didn't. It was due to his very limited diet from the autism. But I was sitting there, and I get another one of these messages, and I said, why are you messaging me? I'm getting all these strange messages. And he said, well, my brother's getting married and I'm the best man. And he said, I've been tagged with getting entertainment for the stag or men's night together. Right. And then he said, I didn't know where to look. Thank God this apparently has been shut down. It was a subsidiary, I believe, of Craigslist, but it was called Backdoor. And there was a lot of seedy stuff on it was like classified ads. He had got my name and contacted me. Thank God they didn't get on Facebook and get my pictures, but they put this near naked woman with dark hair and advertised her, of all places, in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I still have the paperwork with all this stuff. I kept the screenshots. And they had put that she was an escort and a stripper. And if anybody wanted to get a hold of her, contact her here. Well, he had somehow linked my messenger to that ad. This guy was horrified. I said, listen, I'm a mom. I said, I'm sitting at the cancer clinic with my son. And I said, I'm also a nurse. And I said, like, what? WTF, basically. And he was horrified. I remember he said, I am so sorry. He said, I have a girlfriend, I have a mother, and I have a sister, and I'm absolutely disgusted. He sent me the link, sent me where to find it. I ended up drafting a letter, kind of a cease and desist, and demanded it be taken down immediately. Thank God they did. But that was over nothing. Like, I don't even think I was podcasting when this happened. No, it might have been when I started podcasting. I'm not sure. It was that far back, but I mean, that happened to me and I'm nobody. So I'm telling you, you got to be careful out there. Sorry, I got a little bit off on a tangent here. Zach says, I never did Black Friday. It was a blessing when I had to work during that time. And he said, this Christmas will be different for me since it'll be the one without my first one without my mom. And I'm so sorry, Zach. I was thinking about you the other day, sending you some healing and positive energy and love. I really was. I was thinking about you, thinking, I hope he's okay. I haven't seen him lately. And you said, this is why I'll celebrate it with my family while they and I are still here. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. And that is absolutely true, Zach. It really is. And although our loved ones never leave us, and we never really do die, we are immortal. I can't think of one person, myself included, that really doesn't give you a lot of solace, because it would be any one of us would give anything to have our loved ones back, right beside us, so we could hug them again. So I send anybody who's lost a loved one so much love and empathy, my deepest condolences, and healing and love and light. And Kevin says, that is true, Zach. Appreciate who is still here and cherish the memories with those years with your mom. Mm-hmm. And Mish says, Zach hugs. And she said, oh, I did. I'm sorry too, Michelle. Michelle said my mom passed 4 years ago today. So I'm so sorry for that too, Michelle. And she said, someone is always watching as I was talking about what I was talking about. And that is absolutely true. So you have to be very, very, very careful, and we don't think about that too, because once it's on the internet, unless you got a lot of money, I guess, and you're very powerful, I've seen some things disappear or be extremely difficult to find on the internet. But just regular people like ourselves, yeah, it's there forever. And, so many kids, and there have been children that have come out, usually maintaining their anonymity, that they grew up on the internet and have talked about all the issues they've had with all of these things happening, and, being their whole childhood on the internet. And these children, I keep thinking of these 8-passenger children. Their parents were Ruby and Kevin, and it's quite a story. If you guys get a chance, check it out. It's not a happy story, but the way it turned out, it's heartbreaking. What happened with these children, and especially the 2 youngest. And I hope that they're safe now. I know there were 6 kids. The eldest was out on her own out at college and really was estranged from the family. The second eldest is the boy that didn't have the bed for 8, could even been 10 months. I'm not sure how long. They sent him to one of those very problematic wilderness camps, and I'll say that in quotations, that have since been exposed for what they really are. And these children were very well behaved. And I can't tell you how many times these kids have said, please, please don't film this. Please don't film this. And the mom just kept laughing and just kept going on and on and on and on and on. So I saw another one today, and I remember seeing this channel once on TikTok, and I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. The mom is Caucasian, and the little girl is African American. And the mom, while she would be doing her hair, would be doing affirmations with this little one. And I thought, what a great thing. And this was also covered in the video, one of the videos with Radiant Brit today. I don't follow her all the time, but she's some very good videos today, good topics to talk about. And I guess the mom thought she turned I guess she was live, and she went to grab something, and she said to her little one who's 6, I think the channel's called Scarlet and Tania, or please forgive me, it's something like that, Tanisha. Anyways, the mom said, go say hey to everyone. And the little girl's barely 6. She's absolutely adorable. And she said, I don't want to say hello. And then she started to cry. She said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And her mom came on, and you could tell she was not happy. And she said, well, she doesn't want to talk today, so we're going to turn off. And I guess she didn't turn it off. And she was in the background. You could not hear it, but she was reaming this little girl out. And that's not the first time, right? And I get it, maybe that you're a single mom and that's your source of income is your little girl, but I think you gotta be a mom first. I don't know. That's how I never put my kids on the internet. I mean, now that they're older, yeah, but they're adults. Even if my son with special needs, I would never once put him on the internet if I didn't ask him. If he didn't want to do it, I'd never say to him. Like, sometimes he pops in here, you'll see him in the background. And many of you that know me, if you've done a reading with me or a session with me, my son, or I've had meetings with people, with friends, and everybody's always been so kind to him. And he just is so thrilled when he can pop his head. Well, so I want to say little head. He's a big boy. He's a big guy, but he likes to say hello, and it really makes his day. But would never have put my kids on the internet without asking them. Sandra says, at Missions Act, hugs to you both. I lost both of my parents 2 years ago. I feel your pain. Oh, Sandra, I'm so sorry. I'm really, really sorry. That's still very fresh too. You know what? It never goes away when we lose a loved one. It really doesn't. So my heart goes out to everybody who has lost a loved one. And Nicole Thomas Ryan says, hello. And Sandra said, I've also lost, Mish said, at Sandra, I've also lost both parents. I was blessed to have them, and put smiles. And again, I'm so sorry. So I decided we were going to start out with some of this, but you know what? We're here for some of the spooky stuff too. And somebody, I forget what I was watching, and somebody said this, and they were so right. They said, you know what? Spooky season starts with the buildup up to Halloween, but it actually almost continues right up to the beginning of January. Because I never really thought about this, about how many ghost stories are out there over Christmas. We even look at the Christmas story with Scrooge, right? The 3 ghosts, the past, present, and future. That's not the only one. It's just one that comes to mind. So I know, I think David had mentioned it on Thursday night on the thing at the foot of the bed, but you guys have sent in such great stories of spooky, scary stuff. Have you had any weird, strange, unusual stuff happen over the holidays? Maybe you've had something unexplainable. Feel free. You're welcome to send it to me on Facebook Messenger, or my email's the Angel Rock 1508. It's just my birthday, August 15th. So it's 1508 at gmail.com, or any other way you want to send it. I'm on pretty well every other social media platform. You can send it to David Hansel too if you want. He's under the Spirit Experience, or theywhispertome.com is his website. And he's pretty well on, I think he's on every social media platform as well. And I think it's under the Spirit Experience, or if you look up David Hansel, because you guys knocked it out of the park for Halloween. So if you guys have anything you want to share that happened over the holidays, or even if you got a really inspiring story, I would love to share those too. Like maybe, there was like a special gift or anything that kind of brings the holiday spirit or even the spooky stuff too. So I went to some of my favorite channels. I was hoping maybe Nuke's Top 5 would have, sorry, I'm just checking my messages that just went off here. I was hoping that what some of my favorite channels would have uploaded a video like Nuke's Top 5. They didn't, but I'm going to give Shannon a shout out here. She's usually here on Thursday nights with the paranormal poopers. She's a nurse and works evenings in a hospital. Then the floor she's on has a lot of elderly residents and patients on it, and they all gather around the iPad. Imagine back in the day it was a radio. Now it's the iPad, and well, usually Shannon, while she's charting and doing stuff, is listening to the thing at the foot of the bed. So they have started to join. There's a whole group. Now, I didn't name them the paranormal poopers. They named it themselves that. Anyways, this Bizarre Bub, she's the one that shared Bizarre Bub with me. So I checked out his latest video. Holy crap, he has some creepy stuff. So are you guys ready to jump into some creepy stuff tonight? I also downloaded some creepy stuff from TikTok too. Sorry, my thingamabobber here on Facebook, I've got it open too. Now the YouTube video I did not download because I was thinking if I download it, would that help? Because there are some ads in there, so I'll just mute them while they're playing. Let me grab a drink of something. And for those of you just joining in late, actually, we're almost at 7 o'clock. Holy cow, I've been talking lots. It's almost an hour. So excuse me, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to 105.3 and 107.7 out of the beautiful city of New Orleans to UFO Paranormal Radio Network, also known as United Public Radio Network, or we just call it UPRN. And don't forget that I'm not streaming the Angel Rock on Roku, but we do have a TV channel on Roku. You can find it by going to the channel store and looking up UFO Space P as in paranormal. And there's a drop-down list, and you're looking for UFO Space Paranormal and United Public Radio. And we have quite a few shows that are streaming on our channel. So I don't always say this anymore, but I'm going to show this. So if there's a couple ways to get around this. So I only highlight people if you're on Facebook. It comes up under Facebook user. So you're welcome to head over to StreamYard.com. I believe you just have to quickly sign up for a free account and then give them permission to use your name and your picture. Or you can put your name behind. It might tell me actually on my phone here if I look. Let me see, and I'll be able to tell who this is. Or you can put your name behind it, or you can choose to stay anonymous if you like. So let me see. I'm not sure who we got just tuning in here, but welcome. We're glad to have you. So now I'm curious. Since I'm already in here, I got to check it out and see who's here. It's not going to tell me, so I don't know who you are. They wouldn't let me stream to Facebook today on my profile. Believe me, I counted. I kid you not. This way I tell you Mondays are busy. I pushed that button to try to schedule my show to my Facebook profile almost 400 times, different times over the weekend, today. It was not letting me. Hi, Faye. Welcome. She said, this is Faye. There should be no reason why you're coming up as Facebook user, Faye. Welcome. Faye and her husband, Roger, used to be on our network. They've since just gone back to Facebook and YouTube. And they have Latino Psychic Visions. I believe it's Wednesdays and Saturday. I was on Roger's show a couple of weeks ago, and that one is called This Mug's For You. But Faye just started her own show, and it's called Faye's Angels. So I want to give her a shout out. That's on Tuesdays. And I think your premiere show was last Tuesday. And unfortunately, and I knew this because somebody that was here, I think on Thursday night, said, I'll see you at Faye's show on Tuesday. And I was in a meeting, so I wasn't able to watch it. So congratulations on that. So before we get to the video, Kevin's always good for a story. Z-Sun Dragon. So he says, short story. Walking home from friends as the sun was going down in Glencoe. And Kevin's in Canada like I am. My brothers and I heard what sounded like chains dragging behind us on the pavement. Then it was in front of us. We kept walking and saw nothing, just clearly hearing it. Crazy, isn't it? Holy, I'll say, yeah, like Sandra says, you always have the best adventures, Kevin. You do. You have crazy stuff happening. I might message Jonathan because I had an idea about this too, something a little different. Jonathan has SP. I know he popped in, but sometimes he heads off in other places. But I'm going to see, Jonathan, if you're not out there, I'm going to try messaging you right now because he has an SB7. Now, I'm just doing this at the last minute, so he may be very well busy, but I do have devices of my own. So let me message him. I'm going to say, hey, are you busy? I'm going to say this so I don't have dead air time as I'm typing. I'm going to say, any chance you'd like to do some ITC live? I'll say with me right now. If not, that's okay. Like I say, I have devices too. Oops, Mister. No, I want me. My darn phone, I swear it's possessed. Hi, Manuel Lopez. He says, love and light. And Mish says, eek. And you said, oh, I see more comments. Was as though it was crisscrossing the streets, going back and forth. Oh my gosh, Kevin, that's crazy. That's absolutely insane. I don't know. I've never been to New Brunswick. I don't know if I'm going to go now because you've got some crazy stuff. Okay, I'm going to say right now, let me type this in. Because you know what I was even thinking is we'd set the parameters, but wouldn't it be nice? Like maybe we'd get some loved ones coming through with some messages. I kind of got that from Spirit today, and I thought I do have devices that I can use. They're just apps, but I thought we'll see what if Jonathan's around. If he's not, that's okay too. In the meantime, maybe we'll start out with this spook. Oh, and Faye says thanks for the promo. You're very, very welcome. I love Faye and Roger. Like I said, I was on Roger's Saturday morning show a few weeks ago, and I think it's usually only an hour and a half. But I kept saying to Roger, I don't have to be anywhere. Like, do you want me to hang out with you? And we'll do some more readings. And he said, yep, I think we were almost 3 hours, you guys. We had so much fun. It was crazy. And Nicole says, that sounds cool. Yeah, I thought it might be a cool idea. I've been thinking about it for a couple weeks. We can use my device, but like I said, an SB7. And the really cool thing with Jonathan, never really met someone like him. I think he's on a television episode. I wish he was here because a lot of times he'll just pop in to say hi, to offer some support. And I know he shares the show, and I understand people are busy, but I have seen things happen with Jonathan with ITC or intertrans communication. Hang on. I can try. Okay, hang on. Let's see if we can get him. I'm going to ask him if he wants to come on. So we'll see if we can get him on here. I'm going to say, do you want to join me on the show? I hate to do this. If I had somebody else here to talk to, you guys are just going to have to listen to me. Michelle says, the other night, my daughter's tenant was going to work around midnight. She said he heard her saying, hey, over here. Oh, that's crazy. We could try to reach, I'll say, people's loved ones who have passed, or anyone else. I'll say anyone else. I'm going to send him a link. We'll see. He's been on my show before, so he knows what the deal is. So I know this was unplanned. I just kind of thought about it when I think they have a Wendigo. Oh, well, there's a difference. That's so funny you brought up. Michelle, I swear to God, you're right in sync with me tonight with a lot of stuff. I was thinking about the difference between Wendigos and skinwalkers because there's a difference. Give me 1 sec. I want to send him the link if he wants to join me. If he does, he'll pop in. If he doesn't, that's okay. I'm sure he's going to come on. I'm positive because unless he's busy, but I'm pretty sure he will. I'll send him the link and we'll see. So I'll send it and see what he says. So the difference is that to me, if you were thinking that, And it depends. Like, did you hear it out? Did she hear it outside or was it inside? Because you say, I'm going to highlight this. Michelle says, the other night, my daughter's tenant was going to work around midnight. She said he heard her saying, hey, over here. So I'm guessing it was outside. Now, usually a Wendigo, because I was trying to understand because I hear people use it in interchangeably, these two terms, right? Skinwalker. Let's see what he says. Okay, let me get ready. I'll say no rush. Hang on, let me tell him this. No rush. Oops. No rush. Oops. I know I'm saying this out loud. It's just so I'm not having this dead space as I'm typing. I'll say no rush. I know it was unplanned. It was unplanned. I figured he'd join us. And Jonathan has been on the Angel Rock before. So the difference between a Wendigo and a Skinwalker from looking at this, I believe with a Wendigo, it's an old, both of them are related to First Nations, but a Wendigo is more, if I understand this correctly from what I've seen, and feel free to correct me, I am not an expert in these areas. I've just done the research that I've done. Michelle says it's outside. So with a Wendigo, from the legend and lore I have read, if another human within the First Nations community has consumed the flesh of another human, that you are destined to be cursed and walk the earth forever hungry, always hungry, and can attack others and make a meal, basically. Oh, we've got a Kent here. I don't see Kent, but hi, Kent, have I missed you? So with a skinwalker, it's basically, again, First Nations legend, has to do with, I want to almost say like magic, if you will, but it's also they are shapeshifters. They can take the form of an animal. Sometimes they'll say another human, and that's where you may hear it's usually help, though. It so Kevin says like an impersonator, um, trickster, maybe imitating, so doppelganger. No, I had a doppelganger in my previous home. It was a female shapeshifter. She would take my form. She has hit my partner. Kevin says, ignore Kent. LOL. um, she would take my form. She's hit my partner a couple times. And then I remember, I've told you guys this story before. We're both night owls. And in our old home, our bedroom was in the basement. So he went upstairs to make something to eat. It was about 3 or 4 in the morning. And he was in the kitchen working. I think he was making a sandwich. And so the countertop was straight across in front of him. There was a bit of an open space between the cupboards and the countertop. And you could see into the dining room, kind of into the living room in the previous home. And all of a sudden he comes flying down the stairs and he goes, did you just come upstairs and hit me super hard 3 times on my left shoulder? I go, what? And he goes, I go, why would you ask me that? And he said, because as he was making the sandwich, something hit him really hard 3 times on his left shoulder. He actually hit his head on the cupboard. He got hit so hard. He spun around to see who it was. And he said, it was the exact image of me, what I was wearing from the back. Same, my hair's almost down to my butt, but same hair. My hair wasn't purple then, but everything, what I was wearing. And I said, so then what happened? And he goes, the fake me or doppelganger went out of the kitchen, went around the corner to go like almost down the stairs and disappeared. I go, well, first of all, I can't disappear. Second of all, and I always want to tease my partner about this. He's been to way more concerts than me. We love going to concerts, and he's way better hearing than me. So I said, you would have heard me if I came up the stairs. Plus, why would I go upstairs and hit you? I've never hit anyone, including even my children. So why would you think it was me? He goes, well, it looked like you. I go, you would have heard me if I was coming up the stairs. I have no reason to hit you. So yes, a doppelganger is the exact replica of, could be yourself, someone you know. So in a way, I guess what you're saying, kind of like a doppelganger, but sorry, skinwalker usually takes the form of an animal, not people. But I've heard people say that they try and lure you in by yelling help or hey or whatever to lure you in. So that is how I understand the difference. So Kevin asked in her daughter Michelle's daughter's voice or a random voice, and then Michelle said it. He said it sounded like my daughter. He thought it was strange her being down near the chickens. So it could be a lot of things. I don't think I would jump right to a Wendigo or a shapeshifter because from what I remember you saying, Michelle, I'm going to go back. You said it said, hey, and then something else. Let me see. She said it freaked them both out. The voice came from where she keeps her chicks. Okay. Um, she was inside and this was around midnight, but the person who heard it and thought it was your daughter was outside. So the voice said, hey, over here. So I would think more it could possibly, I mean, we can't always just jump to paranormal, right? But it's pretty well unexplained. So I would put it in strange, unusual, paranormal. But Wendigo, I don't know if I would jump to Wendigo. I would think that more or less, even just feeling into it, and I'm not always right. I think it may just have been, could be an energy. Could, the land holds energy. It could be an energy that wanted his attention, right? Because if it was something like a skinwalker, they don't just say, hey, over here. And again, with today's day and age, with deep fakes and with everything else, anything's possible that's caught on video or audio, but it's pretty insistent when it's calling for help or what have you. And they sound like they're dying when they're calling for help. It's like urgent, urgent, urgent. And they're hoping to call someone in. So Kevin says, yes, true, Lorilei. And then Michelle said he messaged her once he was in his car. She had a strange feeling before she got his message. And spirits could do that. Maybe there's somebody around. Could even have been a drop-in or passerby. I almost feel like this was somebody, was this farming community before, Michelle, or anything like that? Do you know? I almost feel like that, like it was a past spirit, and they could be there for whatever reason, right? Wouldn't be the first time I have heard EVPs caught where spirits will say, hey, hi, hey, I'm over here. Twin Paranormal. Watch those guys on Sunday. You guys should check out their video. It's pretty creepy. They were getting the most intelligent responses and with multiple devices. And they had been there the year before and they were getting a lot of the same responses. They had a friend with them this time and it was pretty crazy what they were getting. And this spirit kept saying, come find me, come find me. You're back. Oh, sorry, Kat. Sorry, Jonathan's here. Good thing he messaged me as I'm yapping away here. Hang on. So it is farm. Yeah, I almost feel like it's a farmer. Hey, I didn't give you any notice, did I? I was going to do it myself. Are you still there? Can you hear me? Jonathan?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I just wanted to check your audio. No, I was going to do it myself, and then I seen you pop in. And a lot of people, I don't know if you were here at the beginning. For everybody that doesn't know Jonathan, I said you've been on here before. He's from JK47 Paranormal, or Jonathan. And where I was going with this, and I got off on a tangent. I started to say this about you. And I knew you usually just pop in to say hi and, support the show. And I appreciate that you have a gift with ITC, with intertrans communication. You get some incredible responses. You get some incredible communication. Um, you do your own podcast. I know you're part of Talking with the Source, but you do your own. You wanted to tell people about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So I do it at Tuesday at noon Mountain Standard Time. It's called Targeting with the JK47, and basically I work on cold cases, try to help find some answers and stuff. This tomorrow is going to be pretty interesting, so you should all tune in.
Can you give us a little teaser about what you're going to do?
Yeah. So in 2009, whole family disappeared. in Oklahoma. So they're known as the Jameson family, and
Okay.
it's going to be fun. Before they disappeared, they were talking about spirits in their home, and like when they were packing their
Ooh.
truck up, like they looked like zombies, like they weren't interacting with each other. They were just
I
so
think I know
I
this
think
case. I think I know this case. It's a mom and a dad and a son. Was there two kids?
just one, a 6-year-old
Okay, it
girl.
was just one. I've heard this story. Nobody knows where they've gone, right? Like they just seem to have vanished.
Their bodies were found 3 miles away from their truck,
Mm-hmm.
and in their truck there was still $32,000. Their dog was in the truck, and the dog survived 8 days without food. It was really weak.
Wow.
All their cell phones and wallet were in the truck, and they were found 3 miles away. So Spirit reached out to me as I was looking for a new cold case, just going through, and
Mm-hmm.
they said, "This one, do this one." And
Cool.
it's funny because I bought the episode. They were on a show called Disappeared. Um,
Okay.
and it's season 2, episode 10. It's not on Discovery Plus for some reason, so I had to buy it on Amazon Prime. So I watched the video, and then I pulled a card for myself.
Okay.
I'm like, tell me what this session's gonna be like,
Mm-hmm.
and I got Expect Miracles card. So yeah.
So I was starting to talk. You'll have to send me the name of the episode. I'll have to see if I can find it because I'd love to watch it. But um, what TV episode were you on again? I was talking about you. I don't you had already
Oh,
pardon?
yeah, I'm on a show that's on the Science Channel. You can watch it on Discovery Plus. It's called Mission Unexplained. I'm episode 3. I'm in the middle because mine was the longest. So
We
yeah,
forgot to mention that you also have served with the military, so thank you for your service.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. All my experiences in Iraq. There's so many situations that could have happened that didn't because something was protecting me, and you know, actually, it's funny. Next Monday is a 20-year anniversary, so
Wow.
of one of my major attacks. So,
Wow.
how did they die? That's what I'm gonna figure out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask their spirits and see if they can tell us how they died. Um, I have a clip. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Okay, because what I was going to say to you in the meantime is what made me think of this. Well, Spirit talked to me about it today. I've been thinking about it for a couple of weeks, but today is the 1 year anniversary of Maddie Mogan, Kaylee Gonzalez, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle. They were viciously murdered at the University of Idaho. And today's the 1 year anniversary. And then people were mentioning, we started out talking about a little bit about the holidays. And Zach's here. He hasn't been here for a while. And it's going to be his first Christmas without his mom. And it's the anniversary of Michelle's mom's passing 4 years ago. And Sandra's lost both her parents 2 years ago. And as well, Michelle. There was quite a few people that lost people. So I thought, that might be kind of cool. I downloaded a bunch of videos and stuff, but if we don't watch it tonight, you guys just tune in Thursday because I'll tell Dave. I'll say, hey, Dave, all our research is all done. So I thought, you know what? You've got such a gift with ITC. I've done some because we kind of bonded, if you will, really, right? Like I met you on Talking with the Source, but because we both follow true crime. And when what was his name? Concalvit. What was his name? The guy that we were doing that we worked. We did the Estes method.
Oh, that guy that escaped the prison.
I forget what his name was. There was a manhunt everywhere for him, and it's right on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember his name.
Forgot his name. Yeah.
But the stuff you got, and you do get stuff. And I think you've got a real gift because with the Ellen Greenberg case, you've got a lot of stuff with that case as well. And I
Yeah,
thought,
Suzanne Morphew's case was really good. And if you go
okay.
to my YouTube, you can watch all those. Yeah.
I will go because I know all about it. Like I always usually start out, especially on my own show, if I don't have a guest, calling out my favorite paranormal channels, my favorite true crime channels, and yeah, definitely. So, did you find the interview? Did you find it by any chance, Jonathan? No.
No, it's on my TikTok and it's on my Facebook channel. If you go to JK47 Paranormal in my reels, it's the newest one.
Okay.
I was
All right.
helping somebody. She wanted to find out what happened to her uncle, and I asked, "Were you murdered?" And after a length of time, I slowed it down and stuff, and it's clear as day. It says, "Yes, I think I know who it did it." So
Is that Suzanne you're talking about, Suzanne?
no, it's a person. It's a private case.
Oh, a private case. Okay. So I apologize for putting you on the spot, but I figured I warned everybody if he's in the middle of something, he will be. But if not, I said I'm pretty sure he'll come on. So
I'm always here for you, love and light.
I know you are, and you support the show too, and really appreciate it. So have you got everything all set up? Should we see if?
Yeah, got the candle going. Opened the portal. They've been talking pretty significantly. So
Okay, so how about we do this? If you guys have a question, could we ask people to ask a question, or if they want to try to say hello to a loved one or something, could we do that?
Yeah, I got my eyes closed, so I won't be able to see them, but I'll be able to hear you. So
Okay.
I got my mic up to the speaker, so hopefully everybody can hear the responses.
Okay, so if you guys have a question or anything,
I'll go turn off the lights and stuff.
Okay, go ahead and get set up, Jonathan. So if anybody has a question or maybe something you want to ask of a loved one or a friend or anybody whatsoever, you can ask anything that you want. I apologize for the noise in the background. Hopefully you can hear that okay. And it won't be too, I'll try and go closer to the mic for you because I know that the background noise is a little loud. So I'll try and talk much louder for you guys.
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me okay?
I can. It's pretty loud, the SB7, but are you able to turn the volume down, or are you going to put headphones on, Jonathan?
Yeah, I'll turn it down a little.
Yeah, just so, because it's really hard. I know it'll be hard on people. There.
Well, what I can do is I'll turn the mic away from the speaker. I'm so used to turning
that's
it.
better. Okay, because you're going to probably speak out anyways what it is, Jonathan, because you'll hear it better. Okay, Kevin says he can hear us okay. So we have a question already. So this is somebody famous. Okay, this is somebody from the band The Cars. His name is Ben. Okay. And so somebody's just asking if they may be able to hear anything from him, even if he'll come through and say something like, I don't know, hi, it's Ben or whatever.
All right. Spirit guide. Santos, Christina, Ryan, Errol. Let me know when you're ready. You're ready, okay. In our room, I'm going to have many spirits coming in. I just ask that you protect the session and bring the spirits that we ask for so that they can give response. Protect the session, protect my home. Don't let any entities interfere. I call upon my Army brothers, my Native American brothers, my brothers. Come and give these spirits voice, work as a collaborative. So the first question is for Heather Cooper. She wants to hear Ben say hello. So can you find Heather Cooper's Ben and have him say hello for us? I know it's very vague. Ask her spirit guide who she's talking about. She'd like to say hello from Ben. Yes, I heard Heather's name. Ben, are you here with us? Can you say hello? That was something there.
I couldn't hear what it was. I know Jonathan will, it's a bit like it's fuzzy, so he'll tell you what he hears. That was a guy's voice. That was loud.
Yeah, it sounded like he said, hey there. You know, when I get those responses, I'll normally have to review them, and that's how
I know you will.
So. But yeah, what's the next one?
Okay, so Faye said, I'd love to hear from my brother Kenny, who passed a few years ago. Now, guys, I want to tell you something before we go forward with this. Just in case if something doesn't come through, it doesn't mean that your loved one doesn't want to communicate with you or whatever. It just might be they're not able to work with the frequency right now or what. But I'm telling you, Jonathan gets some incredible responses, and I thought, what better person than just me doing it? So I really appreciate this, Jonathan.
All right, so let's see if we can help Faye out. All right, Spirit, what I need you to do now, my guide, is on my screen you can see the name Faye Hewing. She would like to say she would love to hear from her brother Kenny. So find Kenny. You may ask Faye's spirit guide. Once Kenny is here, can you let me know? They said absolutely.
Okay.
Is Kenny here with us? Kenny, are you with us? He's here. Do you have a message? He said, I'm here.
Okay.
Do you have a message for your sister Faye Hewing? Kenny, what's your message for her? I heard a hello. Kenny, come through. Use my energy. Use this channel's energy. My spirit guides are here to help you. Do you have a message for your sister Faye Hewing?
That was something.
Come through, Kenny. It sounded like he said, hey, sis. Kenny,
remember that Jonathan's going to listen to this too, you guys, because this is using radio wave scanning really fast, and Spirit will pull out the words.
Kenny, come through and tell your sister a personal message for her so she knows you're okay. I don't know what it said. That was something.
That was something, you guys. And what Jonathan does is he'll go back through this and you clean up the sound a little bit and you'll identify the messages. Oh, Faye just said, Penny always said, hey, sis.
Oh, yeah. That's what I heard a little earlier.
Let me see if I can get him to say
I love you. Let me see if I can get him to say I love you. Kenny, your sister heard you. She heard you say, hey, sis. Do you want to tell her that you love her? Sounded like it said lover.
There is a lot that came through, you guys. And like I said, this is a wonderful thing that Jonathan will go through. And when he gets some really clear stuff, he'll go through. I know you will, right, Jonathan? And you'll put the messages up there because it also supports your work. Thank you, Kenny.
To see it's I don't know if you guys can see how fast it's scanning. The lights.
Yeah, I forgot. We got so excited. Forgot to tell people how it works. That's why you're hearing kind of that static. So you may not always. Sometimes they do come through with their voice, don't they, Jonathan? But a lot of times they'll pick the word from the word bank and use it too.
Well, there's not a word bank. It's just scanning radio stations.
Okay. Some of them have a word bank too, so I apologize.
So
the face said thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, love and light. Your brother loves you.
Okay, Nicole Thomas Ryan said, is there any family on the other side that has a message for her?
Okay. Spirit guide, I need you to connect with Nicole Thomas Ryan, Spirit guide. She wants to know if any of her family on the other side has a message for her. Can you find her, spirit guides, or maybe one of her relatives that are in the afterlife, and pass the message on to me? And this is for Nicole. Let me know when you have got the message.
Michelle says that's really amazing. And Faith says she's pretty sure she heard Kenny's voice, though.
That's good, yeah. So, who is it? Nicole?
I'm going to put it back up. Yeah, Nicole. He really does have a gift with this, you guys. Like, and it's much easier, too, if you have the headphones on sometimes. I know that.
I understand, Spirit. Can you find Nicole Ryan's ancestors? I will. My spirit guide Christina said she will. Christina, once you have found them, say the message that they want to say to Nicole. You did? You found them?
Thank you, Spirit.
What is the message that Nicole needs to hear? I heard that we're okay.
We're okay.
Is there another message that they have for Nicole? You said, hold on. Yep. What's the other message? That was something that said, hey, tell her, and then it cut off. So let me ask again. Can you repeat that message? I heard, hey, tell her. Now just finish the rest of the sentence. Use your strength, you guys. I know you can come through. It's really silent. I don't think because my connection is really what I do before I do my episodes is I leave this equipment running for about an hour to make sure.
No, I put you on the spot.
No, but I'm surprised I'm getting what I can.
Okay, so Kevin says he heard you're on the right path with recent decisions. Nicole is what I heard. Yeah, feel free to put in what you guys may hear. I will tell you right now, if you listen with headphones, it's much different. So Michelle wants to know, is there a message for all of us? Words to heal us all now.
Okay. Spirit guide, this question is for the source. Oh, I heard you're welcome. I just heard you're welcome. So that must have been in reply to Z-Sun. Spirit, I need you to ask source. I need you to find out if there are any healing words that they can tell us right now to help us feel better about the current situation in the world. We help you.
Okay, I thought I also heard the planet, like something about the planet.
It says we help you. So what I'm getting from that is you have to believe in yourself. You have to open yourself up to your guides, and they'll send you signs. You'll feel this overwhelming love, and that's what I get a lot from my guides. But let me make sure. Let me see if we can get something else.
Okay, thanks, Jonathan.
All right, spirit guides, thank you for that message. I know you help us. What can we say to the listeners that aren't connected with their guides? What kind of message can we tell them? Come through, guys. What message is Source telling you to tell me that we can tell these listeners that aren't in contact with their spirit guides? How can we tell them everything will be okay? How can we help them? I heard something with love.
Yeah, I thought I did too, because Michelle said wisdom. I think I heard too. She goes, awesome, thank you. I have one thing I'm going to ask, and this is kind of the field that we use our gifts for, is with true crime. But with it being the anniversary for Kaylee and
I actually did an episode when that all happened. I did an episode for them. I talked to Kaylee, so I'll see if I can get her back. I might be able to.
It's the anniversary today, and I'm going to say their names again. It's Kaylee, Madison, Xana, and Ethan. That we love them. We're thinking of them. I'm thinking of Ellen Greenberg as well, and many of the others that you've worked on the cases, and we follow it. We familiarize it. We send so much love and healing to their loved ones, and so yes,
I'll get Kaylee because I had a connection with her. And Z-Sun's absolutely right. Just trust in yourself. This is your guys' universe. So you got to believe that this is your universe, okay? You let people into it. Like I let Lorilei in, and her connection with spirit and my connection with spirit, when we're together, it's crazy.
It is. So you said it was Kaylee?
Kaylee, the blonde girl, is the one I talked to.
They were both blonde, but Kaylee had that really outgoing, big personality.
Yeah. So she was able to talk a lot. So
I could see that. Yeah.
Let's see if we can get her. Okay. Spirit guide, I need you to find Kaylee. We talked to her about a year ago.
Kaylee
she was murdered in Idaho, near the ISU campus, Idaho State University. Let me know when Kaylee is here. She said I can do that.
When she comes, Jonathan, ask her if she can tell us her dog's name.
Kaylee, are you with me, honey? She says hello again.
Hi, Kaylee.
Hi, Kaylee.
I saw a message from your sister on Instagram, Kaylee. She posted your bucket list, and one of them was to become TikTok famous. So she put on your birthday, you're TikTok famous.
Did you hear that, Kaylee? Do you have a message for your sister? Kaylee, stay with me. Do you have a message for your sister, Kaylee? I know she misses you with all her heart.
The whole family, they've got lots of kids.
I heard that's
Kaylee,
cool.
what's your dog's name?
Kaylee, what is your dog's name?
Oh my God, I think I heard it. I have goosebumps major.
Yeah, I heard something like polka or something.
No, Murphy. I think I heard Murphy.
All right, let's see if we can say it again.
Okay, can you say
Kaylee,
it again, Kaylee?
Kaylee, can you say your dog's name again? You said it once. Can you say your dog's name again? Can you say Murphy? There you
Oh
go.
my God. Thank you, Kaylee. Oh my God, Jonathan, I am like covered in goosebumps right now. Thank you, Kaylee.
Yeah. Yeah, Spirit, I feel really good. I feel really good energy. So, is there anybody else that wants to say hi to anybody?
Well, Kevin says he keeps hearing wolf. Why do I keep hearing wolf? And he's laughing. I don't
Maybe
know.
she's making the sound of the dog. Woof, woof.
And Faye just went in huge letters, OMG.
Yeah.
You guys, I've never done ITC live on this show before, and I wasn't planned, but I had heard from Spirit earlier today. Now, I have some apps, but they're not as, I know that background noise is a little grating, but
Yeah.
I know how gifted Jonathan was. And when we were talking about all the losses, I thought, why don't, and you popped in. And then I thought that was a sign I would message you. I didn't give him much preparation. Like Jonathan, you said, you let the machine usually like go for a good hour because they're going to take some of that energy too. It takes a lot of energy for our loved ones to come through too, guys.
Yeah, and I do a lot of grounding before it. I go outside and touch the earth to make sure I'm grounded. And there's so much I do before the show. Like I pull a card to see if I'm on the right path. I do all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
You know what? I'm really glad that you brought that up. And I know we're just going to let it run for a bit, but and if anybody else has got any more questions, but what people don't realize when you're doing this type of work, and this is spiritual type work, this is a way to communicate directly. You have to do a lot of preparation. You know, you can't just like I know you can do it, but normally I wouldn't just hit Jonathan up. And like I said, if he said no, you said no, and I would completely respect that. But you should do these things to try to prepare yourself because it can be very draining. Like you offered your energy.
Spirit just said, yes, you should.
Did they? Yes, you should.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kevin says that background noise is where the voices come in from,
Yeah,
so it's necessary for it is, but this is a pretty accurate method. Would you say that, Jonathan, versus any other device?
I mean, this is like the most basic SB7. Like this is the first one they made, and it's only like $40 now. But I know Spirit's with me because I get this weird beep beep, and everybody that I talk to, they have never heard that through their spirit box. That's why I know it's significant to me, and that's usually when I get the best responses is after that beep beep. So.
Okay, so before you started, because for people seeing this and thinking this is super cool and everything, any kind of communication device, you started the session the way, and I'm going to get Jonathan in just a sec to explain who he was talking to at the beginning. I know, but for people watching or listening, and then when we end it, there's a way to close it. You don't just hop on here and do whatever. You should know what you're doing when you use these devices. So who were you talking to at the beginning, Jonathan?
So in the beginning, I talked to my spirit guides. I have 3 of them. They just said hello. um, they so I found these spirit guides from a psychic medium 2 years ago, and she was able to say, okay, your first guide, she's really standing out. Her name's Christina. She has this long blonde hair, a white cape, a long sword. She says that she was the one that helped you in your times of need back in 2001 to 2005. I never told her I was in the Army, but that's when I went to Iraq, was in 2003. And she said she's the strongest one I've ever seen. And she said my other spirit guide, his name is Santos. She sees him in a really tall, tan, kind of olive colored skin. He's wearing a black trench coat with a black hat, and he's tough guy as well. And then she said a little boy named Ryan.
Oh,
yeah,
beautiful. They said, I loved hearing from my brother. He was a few years ahead of me, and he always seemed larger than life. I know he's having the greatest time.
he's always with you, Faye. You gotta remember that. And
Yeah.
if you get a session with Lorilei, she might be able to help find your spirit guides, or at least one of them to talk to.
Well, I have an exercise for people.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you really quick. I'm putting together a course. I don't know if you were here when I was talking about it. Now, it may not be till around February-ish or so, but it's for people who are either newly developing into spirituality, or even if you are spiritual, but you want to learn about some different things and what have you. It's going to go over 1 night a week for probably at least a few months. And these are some of the things I'm going to be teaching you, but one of them is, so what I get people to do is to clear their mind. You're going to take a couple deep breaths, say in through the nose, hold for 4, hold it as you're breathing for, you're holding the breath in for about 4, and then breathe it out for 4. Okay. Whatever's comfortable for you, but 3 deep breaths. You're going to try and clear your mind, and you're going to ask, what is the name of my spirit guide?
Yeah.
Whatever comes to you, accept that. I don't care if it's a super crazy name. I don't care if it's as simple as Mary or Bob or whatever, because what that's doing is, okay, they don't need names on the other side. I know you know this, Jonathan, we've talked about this, but they don't need it. It's energy. We really are a part of each other. So that guy that you're going to connect with is going to, so you'll associate Bob, for example, with Bob, and you can give permission to Bob and say, Bob, I'd like to get to know you more, like you were talking about. Please send me some signs. You may get more than one name, or if you want to find out, we don't just have one guide. We have many different guides. We have many different angels and ascended masters and elementals. And this is how you can start to get to know them. You can ask them, let me know what you feel like. Like you mentioned, you get a certain sensation when you're establishing communication. Your guides and angels and all your helpers that you have on the other side, we're never alone. They want to work with you. They're here to help you succeed at why you came here in the first place. We're all here for a reason.
And they will never leave you. They will always be there. So if you ever feel alone and you feel depressed, you just talk to them, and they'll take those feelings away. You just got to ask.
I'm going to mention one thing though, and it's kind of something that came to mind in a conversation recently. You can write to them. Say you like to write, and you start to write and you journal. You can ask questions and write down whatever comes to mind. But as you're doing it, you might get this sensation of, why am I doing this? This is crazy. Like if anybody saw me doing this, they think I'd lost my mind or whatever. That is the ego part of ourself. You will find people in this field who will tell you you got to banish the ego. Well, guess what? The ego will not be banished. It is part of who you are. And I love what one of my mentors taught me, and it's worked really well, is we learn to make friends with our ego, but recognize that if that part comes in and tries to kind of convince you, this is stupid, don't do this, it's ridiculous, that's your ego, right? And you can just tell your ego, listen, I hear what you're saying in your own mind's eye, if you will. How about you just hang out? You can hang out on the side. If you got something to add, great. But I think I'm going to continue to do this and keep doing it. Right? That's one way. But you can connect and they will communicate with you. So we are almost out of time. I'm going to have you back on again, Jonathan, because Kevin says I got not names that way of guides. I agree with Lorilei. They will tell you their names, and yes, they will help instantly when you ask Jonathan.
No. And the best way to try to communicate that I found is to think of yourself in a state of sleep. So I close my eyes because light is a frequency, and I think it interrupts with my communication. So I always make sure my eyes are closed. I always make sure that I'm breathing as if I was sleeping, a nice calm breath, and I just try to do whatever I would do as I'm sleeping.
You get into theta. In the brainwave state, and that's the best. It's a sweet spot is when, say, you wake up, your alarm goes off, and you hit snooze, and you're kind of awake, kind of asleep. That's the best place to get messages. Leave my Crystal alone, please. Thank you. She loves that Crystal, my cat. Well, maybe
here, let me close this portal real quick. Let me close this.
Yeah, go ahead and close it because we got to pop off here. We got like a minute or two left. So,
all right, spirit guides, all spirits, thank you for your session. Thank you for your protection. I thank you for everything you do for me. Thank you, Santos, Christina, Ryan. Thank you, my Indian brothers, my Native American brothers, my Army brothers, my brother. I say thank you, and I close this session. Can you say goodbye? Can you say goodbye, acknowledging that the session is closed? We help.
Thank you.
Goodbye. There they go. They said it.
So, Jonathan, you want to let them know quickly how to get a hold of you. And if you guys enjoyed this, I have a couple more weeks. Like I'm booked solid probably for the next few months. So that's why I've taken these shows over the last few months to do alone because I love doing them with you. If you guys want us to do this, I'll ask Jonathan if he's free and I'll have him on for a whole 2 hours and we can talk and questions. And so how do they get a hold of you, Jonathan?
Best way, you can just follow me on JK47 Paranormal on Facebook, or you can follow me on TikTok. And if you want to send a message through like Messenger, just look for Jonathan Keyworth and send a message. I'm always home, so that's what I do. I just read.
Everybody's saying thank you, Jonathan. Thanks, everyone. So you guys, if you're enjoying the paranormal and you want to talk more about it, stay tuned because we've got the Horsefly Chronicles coming up next with friends of mine as well, Philip and Julia Syracusa. They've got a great show. Otherwise, you ever want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on facebook.com/The Angel Rock. If you got a guest suggestion, show idea, you got questions, maybe you want to book a reading with me, I do Akashic Records, I do healing energy sessions such as Crystal Reiki, I do mentoring. Also, I have 2 groups on Facebook, Paranormal University for all things paranormal and the Angel Rocker Tribe for all things kind of spiritual. Also, I will be back on Thursday with my good friend and co-host, David Hansel at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Kevin says, great show. This was so much fun with Jonathan. So like I said, you guys, we've got enough weeks left. What's day? 13th. I think we got 2 more Novembers before the guests start. And it's nice to have guests too, but I like to be able to to sit and talk to you guys. Okay. So I send you all so much love and light. Remember that we're thinking of all of you, and I'm very grateful that you shared some personal things tonight, everybody in the chat. I send you so much healing as well. And until Thursday, okay? We'll talk to you soon, everybody. Stay spooky. Thanks again, Jonathan.